Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you again so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. Happy weekend to you. Taking a quick look again at Myro, double checking a couple of key factors here. We got this awesome support zone, held the price action in place, came down to bounce off this level perfectly at 0.382, that 20.4 cent range. We talked about that previously in my most recent playout chart being a potential reality here for Myro. So again, coming down to this level here at about 20.4. Absolutely doing right what it's supposed to do. And again, it's more so just a case of most recent high working as a new low. That's a lot of it, but once more, it's also a previous demand zone. So we're gonna take a look at that and just double check a couple of things. If you're new to the channel, I would say welcome aboard. Thank you so much for joining me here. I've got a Trading Academy community and signals group link down below if you're curious about that. More information, obviously, if you want. And just hit the like button before we get started. Just want to say thank you again so much for the phenomenal feedback I've been getting here recently. Kudos to our community members here as well. Just a quick note, 30% from Bitcoin, RDNT 45%, Harmony One and Solana both about 22-23%. That all took place yesterday and today. Good profits to wake up to here on a weekend. So when we look at Myro, we want to recognize a couple of things here. There's this basically 16.8 cent mark we talked about previously being a point of contention. That's still the same. If we do take a look at our playout chart here from before, we can see that we've had that concentration before and it's still there. Okay, so there's nothing really changing much there. The reason why that's relevant to note is because that's an area of invalidation. In a lot of cases, when you sweep those lower levels, the price action will become invalidated. So it's right down this lower range here, just to give you perspective. Don't think we got anything to worry about there, but that's just something I want to kind of mention nonetheless. Another thing to recognize too is this 0.618 fib level is a very, very common retracement level. So a lot of times what you'll see is price action get rejected by that initially. We are getting very close to that. So I just want to be mindful that that could be our highest point, that 26.8 before the next leg down, or it blasts straight through that. Again, it's a more recent resistance. 0.618 is a common retracement level, so I wouldn't be surprised we see some problems there. That could be a problem area. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and double check some volume at larger time frames. In other words, our average true range or point of control, if you want to call it that. Let's just go ahead and zoom in here to the most recent time frame. So ever since we've been in this range, roughly since April 1st, we can see the largest amount of volume at about 15.2, and then secondary to that, roughly 22.2. Okay, so that kind of gives us perspective that we're above that resistance range, and we have a lot less resistance. However, we zoom out a little bit further, we do take a look at the larger time frame included. The most amount of volume we're seeing is still roughly the same, but we got more average volume at 25.5. Again, this 0.618 fib level roughly holding the price action in place, or will potentially do that. So just some heads up there. A lot of times when I set profit targets, I set them just below key fib levels. Okay, so instead of just say, for example, setting a target at 26.8, exactly, maybe consider 26.4, something along those lines as an example. All right, so looking at the RSI, we're coming up to 70 in the RSI 2. We're tentatively above it, but today's candlestick hasn't closed yet. So this will tell us a lot. If we close here or higher, there's a solid consideration for continuation. The price action will probably go further because we've broken through that key level resistance. We've also got a magnificent amount of volume coming into this coin. This is basically a 14-day lag. The average of the last 14 days, the amount of volume continues to go up. So more money flowing into this coin, letting us sustain this price action and go higher. The likelihood of the price pulling back is lower because of how much volume is flowing into this coin. Again, if you compare it with this here, it's not it's night and day difference. But if you look at the last month since we've been in this range, a lot of accumulation has occurred in the last basically 2 weeks of trading. Okay? So that's awesome stuff. That's really just implies sustainability. We look at the RSI, MACD, Money Flow Index, everything is very, very bullish here. There's nothing that's disadvantageous in this situation. Again, when we're over 70 in the RSI on the 4-hour or the daily, it generally takes a while for it to come back down, implying that the price action is more likely to stay where it's at or go higher. So the simple way to understand this is generally the rule of thumb is when the RSI comes back down below 70, that's when you consider selling or taking profit. So right now, if you were to secure profit, it's probably a little premature, whereas the price action is more likely to increase moving forward. Either way you look at it, no matter how you slice it, if you were to get in prior to now, hypothetically, just say you're in a long right now, you're going to be in profit regardless of the RSI coming back down, whether it's today or tomorrow. Okay, so generally speaking, adjust your stop loss higher. That's how we secure profits in our community after we initially take our first profit target. That way, if the price pulls back, you always walk away in the green. Okay, so first take profit target should be no less than 70%. If it pulls back, you get stopped out. You still up, roughly about 20% extra. So it's a good situation there in the overall sense. Take a look at the 4-hour time frame here, though. Everything is super awesome. Let's quickly note the moving averages were ascending positively here. In fact, let's draw out a trend line just to be safe for future reference, so we can go ahead and pay attention to this guy as well. Okay, it's running fairly concurrent with this overall trend. So as long as we stay and remain above this guy, we should be in decent shape. We go ahead and change the color of that because that is fairly important to remain above that ascending trend line here. Hourly is going to confirm bullish behavior, of course, no surprise here. All green lights here to leave your long position open. So if you're considering shorting this coin right now, I would say shame on you. It's a terrible idea. Again, you're going against the grain. There's like a 90% probability the price is going to stay in this range or go higher. Shorting into it makes no sense. Okay, now again, if you are the kind of person that follows Tom, Dick, and Harry online that posts 50 to 100x leverage trades consistently, I would say maybe you're in the right place if you want to consider shorting, because then you can show how awesome you are by finding that needle in a haystack trade. But again, that doesn't matter. That doesn't grow your portfolio, because again, eventually you're going to get destroyed. So low leverage, low position size, that's how we sustain in our community, and that's how we thrive as well. While it may not be monumental gains that are, tens of thousands of dollars, we're surviving to trade another day. And that to me is important. I think longevity in the market, making this, a lifestyle versus a very temporary fad is a big difference. Okay. So again, just some thoughts here from a guy online, but either way you look at it, I appreciate all the awesome feedbacks. We have some really awesome community members here coming over from Myro too. So thank you so much for that. Don't forget to like the video, comment below if you haven't already. Help us grow our Twitter, Telegram, Discord. I've also got TikTok and YouTube Shorts now as well, so these are a lot of fun, bringing relevant information to you folks, whichever way possible. So pick your poison. It's all linked down below. I hope you have a good rest of your day, though. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you soon. Bye bye.